Good morning, one and all. School of Science, Navrachna University welcomes you all to this very informative talk on scientific insights into herbs of India for better immunity. The speaker for today's talk is none other than Professor M. Daniel, who actually needs no introduction, but still. So Professor Daniel was the former Dean of Faculty of Science and former head of Botany Department, MS University. Currently, he is the managing director of Dr. Daniel's Laboratories in Vadodara. He established Dr. Daniel's Laboratories to pursue his dream of creating an independent research institution. He is also a member of the Academic Advisory Board of School of Science and is giving his expert advices since the inception of Navrachna University. His areas of specialization are angiosperm taxonomy and chemotaxonomy. He has a research experience of about 48 years with around 170 research articles in national and international journals and 17 books to his credit. We all wholeheartedly and very happily welcome you, sir, to this session. May I now request Professor Daniel to take over the session.
To begin with, see, no hearsay in my lecture, no story in my lecture. They are all scientific facts. You can verify that. And of course, I am given every references here, but you can contact me for any reference that is given here. I have based on one or two books. Now, this is the opinion of British Dietetic Association. They say no specific food or supplement can prevent a person from catching COVID-19. You should have consume a healthy, balanced diet. And there is no EU-approved nutrition and health claims that a single food or supplement can fight viral infections. Take note of this one. Nobody should fool you, because everybody comes with their own imaginative medicine now. Now, 5 topics I am engaging now. The first will be plants showing antiviral properties. Second is immunomodulating plants. Third is plants rich in antioxidants. Fourth one is adaptogens. And a comment on comorbidities. Now, the antiviral plants. Here we are talking about the experiments they have conducted using the extract of these plants on different viruses. And for any student or any researcher, if you want to find out a medicine for a viral infection, they will have to see how that pathogen is similar to the virus in question. Now, I have arranged these plants in alphabetical order. The first plant is Bael, Eagle marmelos. Now, this is a very good medicine for diarrhea and gastric stimulant. And this is found to be excellent against human Coxsackie viruses B1 to B16. And this is about 60 times more potent than your standard ribavirin. Second one is Kiriatu, Calmate, Andrographis paniculata. Now, this is proved to be efficient against viral infections such as typhoid fever and tuberculosis and problems in respiratory tract. The third one is neem. We all know it. See, there is a lot of hype about neem, but most of them are not true. It's a very good medicine for fungal and bacterial pathogens. But about viral, there is only virus, measles, virus, and smallpox. They have been prevented by this one, and is a very good immunostimulant also. Berberis aristata, that is Daru Haldi. Now, this contains berberin, alkaloid, which is otherwise also used very much in medicine. Now, this is a medicine for viral conjunctivitis. And also, it has got immunopotentiating, that is increasing the immunity of a person. Now, take note of this one. This is our senna, Cassia angustifolia. And this plant is the basis of your Kayam Chud. Now, this slide is very important because glycerin extracts of Rhizome of rheum Alu, and Senna, and parts of Rhamnus frangula, Rhamnus purushiana, they all contain a group of compounds, anthraquinones. Now they inactivate a number of viruses like herpes simplex virus 1, virus 2, varicella zoster virus, pseudorabies virus, and influenza virus by disrupting their protein envelope. Now, this is very important. See, a virus contains an RNA molecule covered by a protein envelope. And you know that COVID virus picture also you are seeing that protein is there. And if you can break that protein, the virus is dead. Virus is not a living thing. Only when it enters into a body, it becomes living. So if you can break their protective covering, they are useless. Now, this is a very good candidate for antiviral medicines. Then other one is your Brahmi Vorticola, that is Centella asiatica. Now, this is active against herpes simplex virus. Then turmeric. Now, everybody talks about turmeric. Turmeric is a elixir, boon to everything. Not, it is not exactly that way. In virus group, they can inhibit human immunodeficiency virus type 1. And it can immunopotentiate. It can increase the antibodies because curcumin and a number of polysaccharides like uconan A and D, they have immunopotentiating activity. Then Vavdi. This is a medicine for tapeworm, and every child is having an experience with Vavdi. Now the embryo is the naphthoquinone. There, this inhibits hepatitis virus protease. Then Amla. Amla is a resinatrate. It is an immunomodulatory one, and only one compound, that is a gallotannin, that is identified as a potent inhibitor of HIV reverse transcriptase. Then, I'm sorry, this is a European plant. This is called feverfew. Again, I'm putting this here because any taxonomist or a bioprospecting man can find out the closest ally of this plant in India and look for these compounds. Now, they contain caffeic acid derivatives and alkaloids. Now, this is an immune boosting one, and it can help in fighting viral infections like herpes and influenza. Then our Veriali, phenol. Phenol, the active compound is anethole, a component of volatile oil that is effective against herpes virus and parainfluenza virus. Muletti, licorice, Glycyrrhiza glabra. Now, the supportings in this can inhibit influenza A virus and herpes simplex virus, encephalitis virus, and induce and enhance gamma interferon in human peripheral lymphocyte and macrophage cultures. Now, this is another important medicinal plant. This will increase your immunity. Kala Jeera, Nigella sativa. This contains thymoquinone. Now, this is significantly inhibiting murine cytomegalovirus. Now, Boy Amla, Philandus fraternus. This is a very good medicine for jaundice and liver disorders. Therefore, it is very effective in stopping hepatitis B virus and woodchuck hepatitis virus, and it also has a property against HIV virus. Criatu, Socia chireta. Now this contains a compound called mangiferin, and our mango, Mangifera indica, is the richest source of this compound, mangiferin. Now this mangiferin is antiviral against herpes simplex virus. Arjuna, terminally Arjuna, this is one of the best medicine for the heart. Now, casheurinin inhibited antiviral activity or exhibited antiviral activity against herpes simplex. Then Behedo. Now gallic acid is a component of gallotannin, is antiviral. Then our Chabula haride. Now the hot water extract of this plant inhibited influenza A virus, herpes simplex virus, and cytomegalovirus and active against HIV-1 integrase. Ginger. Now, this is good for stomach, good for heart, this is good for rheumatism. And it is very high antibacterial activity is there. But then one compound in that, beta sesquiphilandrine, is active against rhinoviruses. Then a group of compounds are there, flavonoids. And you know that people always say you take green tea, you take flavonoids, and these flavonoids are omnipresent. There is no plant without flavonoid. Now, these flavonoids are experimentally proved to be anti-herpetic, that it will prevent herpes simplex. And a number of flavonoids are there. Special mention is about quercetin, and I'll be talking about quercetin later. Now, they prevent cellular replication of herpes simplex, poliovirus, parainfluenza virus, and respiratory syncytial virus. Now we come to immunomodulating plant. This will be suppressing antibodies production, or it will be enhancing production of antibodies. Now these also, the plants are arranged alphabetically. This is Vacha. This is a brain stimulant, Acorus calamus. Now the methanol extract containing the volatile oil is immunopotentiating activity. And cellular details are given there. And they are also immunosuppressive. This can be used against autoimmune diseases. Then second is aloe vera. Everybody is familiar with aloe vera. Now the polysaccharides and glycoproteins are immunostimulants. Then Alpinia galanga, this is galangal. Now hot water extract is immunopotentiating. Alstronia is your saptaparni. It is having alkaloids like ketamine. Now, these ketamine and the bark extract are immunostimulant. Asparagus, ascendens. This is Safed Musli. Safed Musli, a number of plants are used as Safed Musli. You get chlorophytum, you get asparagus, different species. Now, the methanol extract of this plant in solution, that is, show a significant immunopotentiating effect. They are also antimicrobial. Then Shatavari is a Rasayana drug, and this increases the antibody production, that is immunostimulant. Then Peta, there is a vegetable, and you get the sweet Peta in Delhi and all that. They contain triterpenoid, they are also immunopotentiating. Then Punarnava, which gives you a new life, Borrelia diffusa. This contains rothinones like boravinone. Now, ethanol extract of roots containing these flavonoids inhibited human NK cell cytotoxicity. That way it is immunosuppressant. We are coming to Garmalo, Cassia fistula. This also contains a model that quinone, which break the wall of the viruses. Now, this is a purgative. Showing very potential activity. Then Kali, say Safed Musli, but Kali Musli is more potent. Now, this is Curculiga orchioides and Curculiga saponin. This increases immunity. That is why this is a Rasayana drug. Then Curcuma longa, we have already mentioned about that one in antiviral properties. This also rich in antioxidant. It is immunopotentiating. Then Anandamol, hemidesmin. This is also a general tonic as well as a blood purifier. Now this is immunosuppressant. Can be used in different occasions. Then Hollerina antidysenterica curci. Now this contains steroidal alkaloids like conasin. Now ethanolic extract is immunomodulatory. Inula racemosa pushkar mula. We call it rasna. Now, methanol extract containing essential oil is very significantly potentiate immunity. Then Karela contain bitter principles like cucurbitacins. Now, glycoproteins and alpha and beta morcarins exhibit immunosuppressive properties. Then Tulsi, lot of data are there about Tulsi. Now, methanol extract of leaves, they are immunopotentiating. Then the oil from the seeds, they produce both humoral and immune responses. Then Lindy pepper, Piper longum, and Piper nigra. Now, the good thing about Piper that it contains piperin, which is a bioenhancer. If you take pepper with any medicine, either allopathy or herbal, that will enhance the absorptivity of these drugs and as well as their performance. That is a biocatalyst. That also shows immunomodulative action. Then Plumbago cyranica is your chitra that contains quinones. Now, plumbagin, that naphthaquinone is immunomodulative. Sorelia corallifolia is bakuchi. That oil is used for leukoderma. Now, the methanol extract of seeds are shown immunopotentiating. Then Chireta we have already seen. The mangiferin is immunosuppressant. Terminalia billerica, Bahida, we have seen in antiviral properties. Now this is enhancing, immunopotentiating. Then Dinosporia, Gudici, Amrita. Now some compound, some alkaloid like cordioside, cordifolioxide, which is a phenol, and cordiol showed immunopotentiating activity. And this can reverse the actions of immunosuppressant drug, cyclophosphamide. Then methi, Trigonella phenum Greek. Now, this is immunopotentiating, and this extract increases the weight of thymus and increases phagocytic index and phagocytic capacity of macrophages. Vidania somnifera, our own ashwagandha. Now you get vithanolides, simple vithanolides and complex vithanolides. Simple vithanolides are immunosuppressive. Like in glycovithanolides are cytoindocides are immunostimulation. Now 75% ethanol extract increase WBC count, bone marrow cellularity, as well as alpha esterase positive cell number. Then we come to lower plants. Spirulina. Spirulina, everybody knows that it is a cyanobacteria. Now, this contains sulfolipids, which are active against AIDS virus, inhibit HIV replication, enhance human T cells, and polysaccharides in spirulina are immunopotentiating. Ganoderma is a fungus. These are all nutraceuticals. They contain triterpenes, which are active against human immunodeficiency virus type and influenza virus type and herpes simplex virus type 1. Then we come to antioxidant. What is the need for antioxidant? See, our body is a very complex chemical factory. Now, most of the reactions are redox reaction, reduction and oxidation. Now, this happens behind almost every reaction, metabolic reactions there. So always oxygen is having a role there. But some tissues of brain, muscle, nerve, kidney, they contain a number of non-dividing cells. So this cannot be replicated. So any change happening to them, any damage happening to them, like damaged protein, lipid, DNA, carbohydrates, etc., are irreparable. Then even the cells which are dividing also, depending on the length of telomeres, they may be dividing 25 times or 30 times, and then telomeres get shortened and they stop dividing. And then 5% of neurons disappear every 10 years after 50. So aging is said to be a byproduct of normal metabolism. Now, in our body, 1 to 5% molecular oxygen is converted to superoxide radicals. They are just formed in course of reaction, and they attack proteins, lipids, and DNA. Initially, they are controlled by cell-zone antioxidant enzymes, superoxide dismutase, and non-enzymatic antioxidant like glutathione, vitamin C, vitamin E, etc. But due to many problems like pollution, junk food, etc., and radiation, pesticide produce a large influx of free radicals in the body and tip the balance between antioxidant and pro-oxidants. So there will be a huge infusion of pro-oxidants. With the result, antioxidant present cannot nullify the pro-oxidant action. And this leads to damaged protein, damaged lipid, damaged DNA, and damaged membrane. And that leads to oxidative stress. Now, the oxidative stress is the cause of aging. It is the cause of heart problem, atherosclerosis. That is the cause of stroke. That is the cause of diabetes, cancer, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinsonism. Now, remedy is providing the body with sizable amount of antioxidants from outside. This may correct the vitiated homeostasis. And a proper administration of antioxidant can treat or prevent the onset of these ailments. Now, this is a repetition of what I have done earlier, that is about peroxyl radicals, and phenolics and flavonoids can counter these. Now, the normal antioxidant present in plants, mostly phenolics, that is the largest group. And then sulfur containing compounds are there, saponins are there, iridoids are there. Now, xanthones, you have already seen in andrographies. Flavonoids, you get anthocyanins, you know that wine is good for the heart because of the anthocyanin. You take flaxseed because of the resveratrol and other compounds. And quinones, you have already seen. Lignans are there. All of them come in nutraceuticals. They all contain phenolics, which form the large group of antioxidants. Then sulfur-containing compounds present in moringa and other crucifer group like brassica, raphanus, radish, all of them, they are best antioxidants. They are 10 times more active than the normal antioxidants. See, they work with other antioxidants and they remain within the body for 2 days. Then there are saponins, they are acting as antioxidants, and iridoids, they are also in many plants, they are acting as antioxidants. And all these compounds, they fight pro-oxidants and also support the active principles of any medicine, maybe allopathic medicine or a herbal medicine, by providing a free radical-free environment. Now, these some of the pictures of flavonoids and things. Now we come to adaptogenic plants. See, there are certain plants which will give you enough immunity so that even if you are stressed physically, chemically, or mentally, that you can sustain yourself. And they are the Rasayana drugs, general drugs that is prescribed in Ayurveda. Shatavari, Brahmi, Saffron. And you can see that Brahmi Bacopa Maniri experimented on acute and chronic stress models in rats. Magicrosin, that is of saffron, showed adaptogenic activity against stress, fatigue, and erratic physiological processes. Then Purpulica orchioides is your Kali Muslim. That increased the survival time of mice subjected to normobaric anoxia or hypoxia that is problem with availability of oxygen in the body, then amla, then tulsi and ashwagandha. Then we come to the last point, comorbidities. Why comorbidities are very important now? See, if you have a car, you may have a problem with engine. That is your COVID-19. But then if you have a problem with the tires, if you have a problem with the fuel valve, if you have a problem with the air conditioning, then the whole car becomes hopeless. That is what is happening with comorbidity. If you have a diabetes, diabetes means higher amount of sugar in your body. That means the blood contains more sugar. Sugar is a reducing agent which can interfere with the redox reaction and tilt the balance. Now, diabetes can lead to heart disease, kidney damage, eye damage, that is retinopathy, nerve damage, neuropathy, and then stroke, paralysis, limb amputations, pure health. And there are a number of medicines in herbal sector which can fight with these diabetical complications, side effects of allopathic drugs. They are Amruda, Fenugreek, Vijayasar, Godmar, like that. Then heart problem. Along with heart problem, you have a number of problems. Chest pain, palpitation is there, difficulty in breathing is there, cardiac failure is there, less blood circulation is there, stroke, varicose vein, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease are there. There are excellent medicines there which take care of all aspects of heart problems. Some things are there in medicine will contain at least 200 to 500 compounds having different properties. So if you take one medicine from a plant, then that contains very useful chemicals that is good for the body. And then hypertension, stroke, cancer, rheumatism, these are the comorbidities. Now, the main source books are only two. That is a selection of prime Ayurvedic plant tricks, ancient modern concordance by Sukhdev, one of the tallest organic chemists in India. And second is one of my books, that is Useful Herbs of Planet Earth, published in 2013. Now, this is my data. My website is there. Email is there. I may be contacted by my phone or through Facebook. Now, I was trying to summarize the whole thing. See, this is a very big lecture. I can give 4 or 5 hours of lectures on this. But then within this stipulated time, I tried to give you only the nutshell of what I wanted to say. So you can always contact me. There is time now for some discussion. If possible, we will try to discuss all your problems. And to tell you very frankly, I am a botanist, I am a plant chemist. And for questions on immunology, virus and bacteriology, anybody from the audience, listeners, can help me out. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was a very informative talk indeed. And the most important thing that we have learned from this talk, I'm sure everybody would agree to this, is that the problem may be bigger, but the solution is actually very simple. And plants need to be really given more importance than they have been given for so many years. And there are many plants which are very much in our day-to-day life, and we should really understand the medicinal value of it. So thank you very much once again, sir. And may I now request Dr. Sandeep Patel to take over, please.
Okay, thank you, Monisha madam. So the session is open for questions. Okay, I can see a couple of questions coming in. I would also request if you cannot type in the question in the chat box, you can use the raise hand tab, which is there on next to the participant list. Let us take the first question from Ms. Khushali Upadhyay. Khushali, can you just Kushali? The question, Dr. Daniel,
Yeah.
the question is how Piper longum is acting as a biocatalyst and which biocompound is responsible for this?
Piperin. Piperin is an alkaloid. Piperin in experimental models, piperin is found to stimulate the absorption of those active compounds, and also in their activities also, they enhance the activity. And there are a number of papers available on that. Actually, it is a very well-known biocatalyzer or bioenhancer. Yes.
Okay. So there is another question from Madam Pratibha Jha. It is regarding how can we use these plants to increase the immunity and in what way we can use them?
See, if you have seen my slides, they say it is 70% ethanolic extract or aqueous extract. That means you can take the plant material, powder it, and boil it in water if it is an aqueous extract that is proved. And if it is a 70% alcoholic extract, you take 70% alcohol, put your plant material in that, reflex it, filter it, concentrate it, and use it. So the methods are already there in my slides.
Okay, so there is another question from Mr. Jitendra. It is regarding Polyalthia longifolia, Asopalao, which he mentions is as good as neem. He wants to know the antibacterial and antiviral activity of that particular species.
There is not much of a published literature available. See, people, especially Ayurvedic doctors, they use Polyalthia against Ashoka, Saraka indica. So it has got anti-rheumatic properties, but I haven't seen any report on antiviral or antibacterial properties of that. I may be wrong also. See, if you search the literature, Google, you search for Polyalthia longifolia, antiviral properties, you get all those answers. Yes.
Dr. Monisha has a question. Dr. Monisha, please.
Sir, I would like to know about the use of Giloy because a lot of reports have been there for the use of this plant during this particular pandemic. So what is the actual importance of this plant? I would like to know about it.
See, actually, that is good for a number of problems like rheumatism. Some people say, some reports say that it is good for diabetes. And more than that, it has got that immunopotentiating properties there. So all these properties combined into this will make you a very good herbal medicine of Giloy. And a lot of literature is available on that. And it is very much worked out. And you get pages and pages of their activities in literature. Okay.
Okay, Dr. Darshi, there is someone from, there is no name. Meanwhile, I come back to you. Madam Tejal Amin has a question. The question is, while these plants and herbs are beneficial in various ways, what is the concentration or dosage required for the intended benefits?
Now, for any person working on the clinical aspects of this medicine, they will have to refer to the original research paper in which first a property is discovered. Suppose if they said the anti-diabetic properties are proved, then you will have to see the original paper in which they will say they have taken 5 grams of powder, extracted in 100 ml water, concentrated and made a pill out of it. Or they say 5% ethanolic extract is potent. So we will have to follow the original research articles, and then from that we will have to take concentrations which are useful or clinically applicable. So always reading literature is very important, and we can follow the same concentration recommended by those pioneers in the field.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, there is another question from Dr. Amit Patwa.
Okay.
How do we know regarding the part of the plant which will have a medicinal value? How do we start looking into this aspect?
See, if you see any old book, that is, there are 5,000 old books are there, and everywhere they say the root is good for this medicine, the bark is good for this particular ailment, the fruit is good for this particular disease, and it is all mentioned there. We seldom plants are used entirely. Many a times, if it's a big plant, for example, we talk about the shmola. The shmola, the name explicitly means that the roots of 10 different plants. But nobody knows what are these 10 different plants. And 5 plants are so small, herbs. People use samul, the whole thing, and they say you get results. So in literature, it is said, if you see every reference that is cited, if you see even a research paper, they say the leaves are taken, the stem is taken, the root is taken, and it is extracted by butanol or extracted by hexane. Everything is mentioned in that old literature as well as latest scientific literature. Okay.
Okay, there is one question from Dr. Dharmendra. Dr. Dharmendra, can you just speak out your question? You did not type in the question. Can you just, Dr. Dharmendra? Darshi madam, can you unmute Dr. Dharmendra? Hello. Hello.
I think, sir, maybe you can go to the next. It's taking time to unmute. I'll just unmute. Yeah.
Okay. There is another question from Dr. Raval, sir, but it is on a different topic. She wants to know the herbal medicines for rheumatism and nasal polyps.
For rheumatism, this Giloy is one of the best medicine. Then ashwagandha is another medicine. And then your Sundi, ginger is another medicine. And there are about 100 different rheumatisms. And for all different rheumatic afflictions, the medicinal plants are different. But these three are very common. You say Giloy, ginger, and even Vitex. Vitex is that is, I just forgot the local name. Nagod is very good.
Okay, thank you, sir. There is an interesting question from Professor Nilay Yagnik.
Okay.
What would be the easiest homemade things which we can consume for immunity in these times of high infection?
Homemade, we have mentioned a number of plants which are available in your kitchen. Your ginger is there. Then ginger is there. Then garlic is there, one of the best source of antioxidant. Then cumin is there. Then fennel is there. Fenugreek is there. Fenugreek is one of the another important medicinal plant. And all these things, they have their own properties. And you should have a admixture of all these things and then take it. They are all, anyway, no harm in all their spices. They are all containing antioxidant. They all contain a number of other compounds beneficial in different properties. So you cannot have a, one medicine for all problems.
Yeah, exactly.
You will have to use it, your own judgment.
Dr. Dharmendra, can you please pose your question now?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
My question is that, any fruit we have to avoid in this season during this period, and any plants from which we have to keep ourselves away?
Well, you know that which fruits are to be avoided. If you are a diabetic patient, you will have to use only apple and related fruits. You cannot take other fruits rich in sugars. But then there are a number of foods which can be avoided. I will have to make another list of this one. But we say the common spices are used, common vegetables can be used, but all the fruits which are available which can be used. Especially jamun is very good. Jamun is good for diabetes as well as it contains a lot of anthocyanin. Then papaya is good. Watermelon is good. Watermelon seeds are very good for prostate problems. Like that, you can use everything, but unless you are a diabetic patient. If you are a diabetic patient, please be careful with sugar containing fruits. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. There is one question from Dr. Ekta Shukla. It is regarding an exact mixture of plant products so that lung infection can be minimized in asthmatic patients.
You want me to give a medicine?
She is asking about a mixture for asthmatic patients which can reduce lung infection. Probably that's what is the question.
Well, you can use Tylophora Dumbwell. You can use Tylophora with Lindy pepper, Piper longa. The
Okay.
Tylophora is very well-known anti-asthmatic medicine, and you can use Piper long along with that, or even Muletti. Muletti will be useful for that. But lung infection, you will have to go for antibiotics.
Okay, thank you, sir. Then there is a question from Mr. Girish Sharma regarding sunt or ginger form. Is it useful to control uric acid?
Well, there are no data available on that. Uric acid is any medicine used for diabetes will reduce uric acid. For reduction of uric acid, you can go for Vijayasar or Jamun seed, which are anti-diabetic. And then there is Ajumod. You know Ajumod, it is not Ajmo, it is Ajumod. That's very good for controlling uric acid.
Sir, there is one more question from Ms. Deepa Chauhan.
Okay.
How effective is curcuma against viruses?
I have already said curcuma contains a lot of antioxidant. That way it has got an indirect effect. But their antiviral property is very less. Only 1 or 2 compounds that also against only 1 or 2 common viruses. But you cannot use for every antiviral preparations. That is why you say there is a lot of misinformation is there. And people say that this is good. And lot many Facebook comments are there, lot many WhatsApp comments are there. You take this one, you will be free of COVID. You take this one, you will be free of that. But they are all hype. You know, people come to me also. I said, who told you? He said, somebody. Kisi ne bataya. Who is this Kisi? They do not know. And just, gossip. Nothing much than that.
I think there is this final question from Mr. Mahesh. He is working on Holarena anti-dysenteric for a dual purpose.
Yeah.
And he says that you have included it as a immunomodulating plant.
Yeah.
He is asking how he should go for analysis and extracting as much benefits as possible from this particular flower.
See, he is using the flower or he is using the bark?
He has mentioned about flower.
Flower, I don't have any literature review on that. But normally we use the bark, kurshi bark. That is for anti-dysenteric purposes. It's one of the best medicine for dysentery. But these alkaloids, they are immunostimulant. That is experimentally proved.
One last question from Mr. Jitendra. It is regarding plant-based sanitizer. Are there any plant-based sanitizers in this time, sir?
Yeah, well, you can take neem-based one. Neem extract is very much antibacterial and antifungal, but they do not have much of it. And anyway, if you mix it with any, this one, bubble making thing, any, other foam making things, means soap-like material.
Okay.
You can mix it.
Okay. I think there are, on behalf of School of Science, I take this opportunity to thank each and everyone who participated in this very interesting session by Professor Daniel. We are thankful to Madam Tejal Amin, who could spare her valuable time and motivate us, and she's been a source of inspiration to all of us to engage in such kind of activities. We are thankful to Professor Nillai Yagnik. Because of him, we undertake such initiatives in this pandemic situation, and all my colleagues at School of Science who are organizing different activities, especially also at the school in Navratna University, in different areas. They are engaged in arranging such activities. Most importantly, Professor Daniel, thank you very much for sharing your expertise and enlightening us to a very, very important area, which unfortunately is still lost in our scriptures. We have not completely explored the potential of it. We need to dig deep, and you have done a lot of work, and obviously we seek your inspiration and guidance in carrying out active research in this particular area in the near future. Thank you all the participants.